Now, the premiers, those power-mad premiers, they are starting to crack. And their veneer, well, that we've been able to see through the whole way is, well, again, only this deep. And even members of the mainstream media are starting to notice it. You know it, and even people who probably voted for these lunatics at some point in the past 12 months, well, they are starting to see it too. Now, these people believe that it is only a one-way street. Do what I say you have to do. And don't dare question the wonderful government. Let alone if you find a way to, like we do, laugh at these people. Now, the South Australian Premier, well, he is showing a bit of pressure, and being the marshmallow, he will collapse underneath it. Premier Marshmallow in South Australia hates that I call him Premier Marshmallow in South Australia. He also decided to take to breakfast radio today in Adelaide to have a crack at what you saw on this program last night. So, with all of the dangers of coronavirus happening, the bloke who fell for a lie about a pizza box thinks I am the biggest problem in South Australia. He went to that press conference with that idiot nutty professor, chief medical officer in South Australia, who just has got away for so long with just rubbish. Like, you know, the rubbish about don't touch your football. And then, oh, there's a chance that somebody touched a pizza box and we've got our own special Radelaide version. And because Premier Marshmallow, I couldn't possibly disagree with her, he just follows this woman all day, every day. Well, as you know, in this so-called free society, you are not allowed to laugh. You cannot poke fun at the dear leaders. And as I said, he was on More Friendly Radio today in Adelaide, who actually did a good job of asking him about the effectiveness of masks and everything else. But there was the big bogeyman of Sky News Prime Time to have a go at. So, are you ready? Sit down. Here is the Marshmallow's really tough response. I'm just tensing. Just ready? Okay. Hit me.
Personal abuse is never a good argument. I mean, calling Professor Nicholas Spurrier, who's just an outstanding epidemiologist, outstanding paediatrician, outstanding public health clinician, calling her a nutty professor is it's disrespectful.
Pow! The marshmallow! We'll have another swing, son. This is a big chin.
Now, some of these shows who go and back other world leaders, you know, who might be out there telling people to drink bleach, they can form their own opinions, but we'll just continue to listen to the experts.
Kapow! Uppercut from the marshmallow. Well, did you know that this program has supported Donald Trump in the past? I know. We even met the president. Remember when we went to the White House a couple of years ago? Got to shake the president of the United States' hand. That's the best you've got? That I like the orange man? Oh, marshmallow. Exactly why do I call Nicholas Spurrier, or whatever her name is, the nutty professor? Because she says nutty things like this.
Are at Adelaide Oval and the ball comes towards you, my advice to you is to duck and just do not touch that ball.
And this.
The case we got last night also worked in the pizza bar at the same time as the person who was at the Stanford went and got a pizza. That means to me, when I saw this, it cemented my fears that this virus is breeding very, very rapidly. You've got a short incubation period and you've got 3 days as those generations move on.
Except that didn't happen. Oh, and of course the workload for the nutty professor. It is just, it's so tough.
But let's focus on these 5 additional cases. We have the man who's in his 30s, who's the known close contact from the Northern Territory Tanami mine case. In addition, his wife is now positive. She's in her 30s and there are 3 children under the age of 10.
Wow, that was a really big day. She's the nutty professor. He is Premier Marshmallow. Another one we like to poke fun at, because you can poke fun at your leaders, is Queen Palaszczuk. She's incredibly popular. She's been able to stitch up the local Brisbane media. She was freshly re-elected at the end of last year, but that doesn't mean she's perfect. In fact, she's quite far from it. Now, believe it or not, it's one thing for her to try to have a crack at me, but they'll never mention us because we've got all the facts on them and we've been right every time whacking away at them. But today, the media outlet that annoyed her was a reporter from Sunrise. Yeah, hardly Sky News primetime, right?
We had this public relations stunt yesterday where you had your health minister get up and say, we've tried to get all these Pfizer vaccines.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. You haven't
My
been.
name's Bianca Stone.
Oh, hi, Bianca.
The show that
Yep.
you didn't appear on this morning. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to answer people being rude. So anyone else have a question? You are being very rude.
So you'll go on Sunrise when you think you're going to get a free kick. When Sunrise tries to ask you some obvious questions about the anti-vaxxer rubbish you have been saying to people, you're being rude, I'm not talking to you. Seriously? These are the people who are deciding whether you can come or go from your house. Yeah, we're going to keep laughing at them because otherwise you would cry from the stupidity and the pain that they cause. And also, you know how I like to say Anthony Albanese is the bloke who likes to be each way elbow because he has a position on everything? Well, the Queensland government is exactly the same. This is their position when it comes to Australians being able to return to Australia.
So today I've written to reduce our caps by 50%. I think that's really, really important. As you heard, we are down to the final number of beds. We are now searching for additional hotels for our hotel quarantine.
Well, maybe they could go to the five-star ones that they used at that golf course with the AFL players last year. Oh, they don't bring enough money, do they? And the bloke, who of course will be the next Premier of Queensland because they own the media up there, and when you feed people the diet of mushrooms, guess what happens? He thinks the most evil people are the people who are in Australia who go overseas and then come back to Australia.
International borders are supposed to be closed, but every week thousands of people are allowed to travel. 190 international travellers arrived into Queensland yesterday. 121 international travellers arrived into Queensland yesterday. 190 are expected to arrive today, and these are putting our community at an unacceptable risk.
Damn those people! How dare you come and go from your own country? What about if one of those people was the Premier of Queensland, who's currently in Australia, but he's going to go to Japan and then has to come back to Australia? Is she part of the problem, Milesy?
I may be required to travel to Tokyo with the Lord Mayor and maybe the Prime Minister.
Every last one of you. We will laugh at you every night. Be you a queen, a marshmallow, an emperor, or the gold standard.